All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome. I'm Pete Jones. I'm the athletic director here at AMSA. I'm thankful for all of your attendance tonight as we're set to honor and recognize the achievements of our outstanding student athletes over the next hour or so. So thank you for being here tonight. Tonight's an opportunity, as I always begin by saying, it's an opportunity to put a little exclamation point at the end of our fall season. And in just a few days, we'll turn the page and begin our winter season. So should be a good night, and I thank you for your attendance. Before we get going, just a couple quick house cleaning items. This is a tight, awkward space. I kind of just alluded to it. Likely there's not enough seating for all, so we will move quickly through the program as quickly as we can. But I ask that you please keep the noise level and chatter to a minimum, as the acoustics can be challenging during these events. If there's a lot of background noise. So, but again, we'll move through the program at a good clip, I assure you. The achievements were plentiful this fall, as they typically are. I'm going to leave that to our coaches to discuss when they come up, but I'll provide just a couple quick highlights. I want to congratulate our volleyball and girls cross country teams for both earning Colonial Athletic League championships, so congratulations to those teams. Also, our Maynard AMSA football co-op earned a Midland Wachusett League title, so congratulations to the football team as well. Girls cross country, again, Coach Vital will be up here in a minute to allow the accomplishments of girls cross country, but they did go undefeated in dual meets this season. We believe it's the longest unbeaten streak in AMSA history. So the girls have a pretty special season going, and they competed in the state championship on Saturday. So great season for the girls cross country team. We had 23 Colonial Athletic League All-Stars this year, and a few other all-state selections as well. So again, the coaches will bring that up in a few minutes when they come up, but pretty impressive number. 23 Colonial Athletic League All-Stars, and again, a few all-state selections also. But as I said, many more highlights to come. We'll hear from our coaches in just a few moments. Speaking of the coaches, I would like to thank our coaches for all the time that they've given over the last 3 months. High school coaches by nature are extremely selfless individuals for the most part, and they commit a tireless amount of effort and time to our students and our student athletes in our school. So a round of applause for our coaches for leading our program this fall. And from me to you coaches, I really truly appreciate you. I know I definitely do not say that nearly enough, but thank you guys for all the work that you put in for our student athletes. Thank you to our coaches. And thanks to all the parents. We cannot do what we do as an athletic department without the support of our parents, of course. Thank you very much. And at this point, as I like to always do, I'm going to ask our student athletes to please rise and give your parents the standing ovation that they very much deserve. Thank you, parents. I also want to take a moment to thank our administration, Principal Naraki and Assistant Principal Sensei, our outstanding leaders who make running an athletic department possible. It would not be possible without the support of our administration, and I appreciate them very much. And also our new executive director, Dr. Lisa Mobley, who attended many sporting events this fall, as did Mr. Naraki. It was great to see Dr. Mobley at our athletic events over at Fort Kicks, and as the playoff season heated up, she was traveling the state watching our kids compete, so it was great to have Dr. Mobley support this fall, and again, all of our administrators, Mr. Montigian and Mr. Amaral as well. Great administration, and they're very supportive of athletics, so thank you to our administration. And last but certainly not least, I want to thank our student athletes. Again, something I certainly do not say nearly as much as I should, but I am incredibly proud to be your athletic director. I'm so thankful for the way that you comport yourselves while competing for our athletic department and representing our school community. You guys are very respected and sportsmanlike when you're out there competing for our school. So I wouldn't have it any other way, and I really appreciate the way you guys represent AMSA in a way that we can all be proud of. In moments like this, we can all, I think, confidently feel very proud of our student athletes. I've always kind of felt like the athletic department is like the front porch of a home. Our exploits are so public. When we do well, it's in the newspaper. And you know, unfortunately, when athletic departments get in trouble, it can be in the newspaper. So it's kind of like the front porch to our home. And again, I think our athletic department is very well respected in Central Mass and beyond. So we have our student athletes to thank for that. So thank you to our student athletes. And just a couple quick items before we get going. Please stay for the entirety of the program. We will run through this as quickly as possible, but we do want all of our student athletes to be properly recognized. As I mentioned, it's an awkward, tight space, and if you need to step outside for fresh air, I totally understand. But we do hope that we can all remain for the entirety of the program so that all teams and athletes are recognized properly. If you're a student athlete being recognized tonight as a varsity athlete for the first time, you will be receiving a varsity letter. So please see me after the program. If it's your first time on a varsity team, you can come get your varsity letter for the first time. So see me after the program if you're a first-time varsity letter winner. And finally, when I do call up our programs, the coaches are obviously going to come to the podium, but student athletes, you're going to come up with your coaches and join us in front of the background here. So you'll stand up here as your coaches present your team, okay? So I think that's it. We'll get going. We're going to start. I know I usually start with Coach Vital because he sets the tone, but we have some other coaches that have been around a long time now too, so I'm confident that Coach Bishop can set the tone properly. So let's welcome Coach Bobby Bishop, Coach Brian Bakula of our boys soccer program.
So we are going to try and set the tone a little bit differently this year. I like to try and go as quickly as possible through these things. And I'm already messing it up. This is great. So as we do go through these, when we announce people's names in terms of just like the general overall team, hold your clapping till the end. I know you want to salute your own child specifically and just give them a big round of applause, but just hold off till the very end so we can get through this, okay? So before we even get started, I wanted to thank Mr. Jones because he spent a lot of time thanking us as coaches, you as parents and student athletes, but seeing as I am the first person up here, I would like to be the first person to say thank you to him for all of the hard work that he does. Behind the scenes, if you don't know that, he is scheduling all of our games for all of the coaches, he's communicating with the ADs, he's setting up state schedules, blah, 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 blah. So if you could all just give him a round of applause before we continue. Second group of people we want to thank is parents, and I know Mr. Jones already did that, but me specifically and Coach Bakula, we would also like to thank you because if you've had kids on the team for a while or this is your first year, you probably have heard of my relentless pursuit of perfection, and it wears off on the kids sometimes, and they might be disappointed in the sense of, we'll have a good game, they go home, and they've heard from me that they didn't have the greatest game. So thank you for just putting up with sort of our way of coaching over the course of the season or seasons. We appreciate it, and the fact that you're willing to sort of stick by the way that we play is awesome, so thank you to you guys as well. Our overall season this year was slightly disappointing. If you heard of our knockout game, so to speak, at States, it was probably one of the most unlucky games I've coached in my career. And it stung, but that's just part of the beautiful game. Overall, though, I think we had a really good season. It was obviously had ups and downs, as every season does, but generally speaking, the group of kids that you are looking at in front of you performed exceptionally well this season, considering the amount of people and firepower that we lost last season. So I would like to thank the team as well, just overall in the sense of what they were able to do by basically just coming together as a group and having this unity that we haven't seen in a few years is nothing short of phenomenal on their part. So shout out to you guys for doing such a good job overall. So now we're just going to give out these awards, and we're going to do it basically in small little groups. Again, we're going to try and do this really fast. So the first group is the seniors. So for the seniors, we have Methru, Jason, Justin, and Nick. We're going fast. I told you. For the juniors, we have Zach Barton, Jeremy. I also don't know if some of them are even here yet or here at all. Jeremy is not here. Richard Newbainer, Richard DeMora, Liam Thornley, and Miguel Pedrosa. For the sophomore class, we have Nathan and Anton, and Chris if he is here, but I did not see him. He's somewhere. For the freshman class, we have Dylan, Duketree, Will, JC, Felipe, who I also did not see, and Isaac. And then finally, for our 8th graders, we have Callum, who is not here. I don't see unless he's hiding in the crowd somewhere. And David Rodriguez. So now, if you'd like to give him a round of applause, be my guest. And thank you for humoring me for doing that. I appreciate that. So next thing we're going to do is hand out the awards. But before I do that, we want to take a brief opportunity to talk about the 4 All-Stars that Mr. Jones had mentioned earlier. So we had 4 Cal nominated All-Stars in the form of Nathan, Nick, Justin, and Jason. They then also went on to acquire CMAS All-Stars, the 4 of them. And then even farther beyond that, we had 2 All-State nominations and recognitions in the form of Justin and Jason. So a round of applause for you guys. So on to the AMSA specific awards. We are going to start with the Unsung Hero. For those of you who came to watch any of our games at the beginning of this season, this person was not a front runner or a starter for us. He was sort of a utility man, and he had a conversation with Coach Bakala about this, and he was perfectly happy to sort of fill that role because soccer is in fact not his first sport. But by the end of the year and halfway through the season, when we lost one of our right backs to an injury, he was the first person that we thought of to basically fill that role because of his athleticism and professionalism. He did so with an unparalleled sense of just like duty. And the fact that he was able to fill that role so well is a testament to him as just a person and an athlete. And the consistency in which he did it with after taking that position was astounding. So our unsung hero was Liam Thornley. The Coaches Award, and I guess this award is usually up to interpretation for each of the coaches, but for us, this is basically somebody that we look at and we think that we want all of our players to be this person. And for us, it was pretty much a standout player right up until I told him that he had won a CMAS All-Star and he went around strutting his chest like he owned the place. But we decided to forgive him for that just because we knew he was doing it as a joke and just because he has enough humility to get away with doing that sort of thing. But overall, through the course of the season, he would make a lot of jokes with us, but he knew when it was time to basically lock in and get serious, it was, and he always did. He was the first person to be listening, the first person to start getting drills ready, or just paying attention, and he was our year-long, basically, penny boy for the entirety of every single practice, and he did so with a smile on his face and didn't want anybody to take his job ever. So our Coach's Award goes to Nathan Thornley. I'm breaking everything. So we ended up actually doing a dual MVP this year just because of the way that this season worked out. And if you watched any of our games, and I'm assuming that means all of the boys standing up here right now know who they're going to be, just because without these 2 players over the course of this season, it would have been dramatically different. They contributed, I think it was 47 or 48 goals and assists combined. They were ranked number 1 and 2 in the All-State Cal League. Like, they had 270-something votes between them combined. They were also the 2 recognized for All-State athletes. They are phenomenal players. They rose to the challenge this year again, like I mentioned earlier, when we lost a lot of our firepower last year in the form of Cal, Nico, Lucas, just all of those players. They stepped up to fill those shoes, and they did so astoundingly well. So our dual MVP this year go to the Job twins in Jason and Justin. Last thing before I think you all get to take pictures, give or take, is we just wanted to shout out our 3 captains. They are Methru, Jason, and Justin. At the beginning of this year, it was solely Methru, and we just thought that he might be able to lead by example in terms of just like what we want our program to be. And over the course of the season, the 2 Jobs stepped up and basically performed admirably in a sense, to the point where we gave them captaincy also. and throughout the course of the year, they upheld everything that we wanted to them with such dignity and poise that we are insanely happy that we did so. So we just wanted to shout them out one last time before you all can come take pictures. So congrats to you guys, and thank you very much.
All right, thank you to our boys soccer program. An outstanding season for them, for sure. Thank you to Coach Bishop on your words tonight. I'm going to take just a moment to recognize our dancers. We're a part of the Hudson competitive dance team. This is our second year of participation with the dance team. So I want to thank Athletic Director Jessica Winders and Coach Kelly Haley for allowing our AMSA dancers to be a part of their dance program. Are any of the dancers here? If the dancers can come on up. I know they had practice. They have two big pep rallies tomorrow over at Hudson to get ready for the Thanksgiving Day game, so I think they're at practice right now. But I just wanted to shout out sophomore Lydia Azar. She first brought it to my attention last summer, not this past summer, but the summer previous, that there might be some interest here amongst our AMSA students, and more importantly, that Hudson had interest in bringing us on, and that their numbers were down a little bit, so they needed a few more bodies to bolster their numbers and keep their program alive. So thank you to Lydia for really being the driving force behind us entering this Hudson Dance Co-op. Just a couple of highlights for the dance team this year. They placed 5th at the Varsity Endicott Invitational a few weeks ago. That same day, the JV team placed 1st overall. That was the first time a Hudson dance team had ever placed 1st. And more recently, the Varsity finished 6th in the state this past weekend, just yesterday, in the hip hop category, so at the MSSAA State Championship. So just want to shout out the 5 dancers again. They have a big pep rally tomorrow and tomorrow night. Lydia Azar, senior Amelia Bush, sophomore Neva Bush, freshman Carly Lowe, and freshman Olivia Estes. Just want to give them a round of applause for their participation in that dance team. So I hope that you're all going to attend our Maynard at West Boylston Thanksgiving Day game on Thursday morning. But if you happen to find yourself at the Marlborough Hudson game, look for the dance team. They'll be competing at halftime. So at this point, we'll welcome up our next AMSA team, and it's the volleyball program. So come on up, Coach Joe Bengiovanni and Coach Jeremy Morris.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jones. And again, thanks all the parents for all your hard work all season long. All right, this AMSA team has really something special in the way of culture. And I'm going to give you a little story about the beginning of the year. We run this camp by an outside organization called Gold Medal Squared, and they send coaches. And we did a team camp this year. And on the first day, there was some younger players, some new players that never played before, and they were very kind of stressed out being on the court with some of these kids who really know what they're doing. They know their way around the volleyball court, and they weren't really sure if they belonged. And right away, numerous kids came over, made sure their new kids were involved, made sure they were comfortable, partnered up with them, and talking with the coaches after that first day of camp, they really noticed that, and they said that that's something they had never seen before, and just all day long, the attitude and the effort and everything that they saw from our players that were just attending a camp is just something they're not used to seeing, and they travel the country running these camps. So that's how our season started, was really good behavior, good stuff, good culture from our team. And it just kind of kept going from there. We started the season with a tough game against our league rival. We kind of learned how far we had to go. And I had the privilege of seeing them get better and better as the season progressed. We had many difficult matches and had to pick ourselves up a few times, but they kept getting better all year long. 5 times they had to go to a 5th set, and all 5 times they were ready to go, and they won that 5th set. That's something really hard to do in volleyball, is win 5th sets, and they were undefeated in 5th sets this year. They put together a record and good enough to tie for the Cal championship. Really a big accomplishment after losing a game or two early. So I'm really proud of them for that. The highlight of the season came, I think, near the end We were in the CMAS Athletic Directors Tournament against Blackstone Valley Tech, who's a team that defeated us twice that season. And they showed up, played the best game of the season, and they beat them 3-0 in that game. Really showed how far they came from the beginning of the season to where they are now. They made it to the second round of the tournament, where they fell to the amazing state finalist Bellingham team. They almost took that first set from them too. Really good match. What I'll remember about this team is how much they care about each other and how much fun they had all season long. The underclassmen, you all improved so much this year. I'm excited to see where the future brings us. To the seniors, Bella, Abby, Danny, Gabby, Ellie, we're going to miss you next year. And thank you for all the great moments over the years in the volleyball program. So, we also had 3 Bay State League, Cal State All-Stars, and we had Bella and Abby and Cassie were our All-Stars this year. So congratulations to those 3. Okay, I think we're going to move on to the awards. So let's see, we'll do the Most Improved Award. This is always a tough one because so much growth happens throughout the season. I like to think that the girls that make up this team are really bought into the process and really getting better every day, and I see it all the time. I probably could make a strong case for every one of these as being most improved. I'll explain a few reasons why we chose this particular person. Moving up from JV is never a guarantee, and we weren't sure this person was even going to be on the team, weren't sure she was going to come out for the team, weren't sure she was going to make the team. She showed up at tryouts, ready to go, and immediately it was apparent that she was going to be a big part of this team. She earned her spot not just on the team, but as part of the starting rotation. As a middle blocker, it's common to have touch the net. And this was a major problem for this player last year on JV. It was very common for this kid to be in the net. And she really made it her mission this year to reduce that to nearly 0, and she did a really good job. The number of times she had to do the fishy caught in the net dance was very low. Okay. Down the stretch, she really started to figure out her timing in all aspects of her game. She started to accumulate blocks and kills and aces. We're looking forward to having her around for one more season, controlling the middle of the net, and one more season to bring that smile and positive attitude to everything she does. So congratulations to Emma. Okay, and in volleyball, a lot of attention goes to the players that kind of finish the play, get a kill or an ace or an error. If you really know the sport, you appreciate how important it is to have a player that can perform consistently at their role. It's also special when things aren't going well and that player steps up and rights the ship. Our Unsung Hero Award goes to a player who did this a number of times, both defensively and especially from the service line. The most memorable being in our match at Monty Tech. We had fallen way behind and we were about to lose the match down 13-23. She stepped up to the service line and rattled off 8 consecutive points to bring her total to 19 on the day, and she didn't miss at all that day. She single-handedly sparked the team comeback as they finished that set and kind of cruised to the win in the 5th set after that. And really just all season long, she just did all the little things in practice that she needed to do to help the team, all the little things in the match that she needs to do to help the team on the court, off the court. And she's one of our seniors, and we're going to miss her greatly next year. So our unsung hero is Ellie DeMarco. Okay, so on to the Coaches Award. The Coaches Award for us is given for a player that embodies teamwork, effort, communication, and sacrifice. And we have many players who are deserving. I chose to give this to one she's just always ready to go at any moment. She didn't even really have a true position this year. She just kind of plays wherever she's needed and does her best job every time. In our biggest game of the year, she hadn't even been on the court yet, and we needed to score a point to stay alive in the set. Her teammate had been struggling with her serve all day. So without even having a proper chance to warm up, she stepped in and hit 2 wonderful serves and a great dig and allowed us to stay alive and win the set and win the match. Basically all season long, this player just did whatever was asked of her. She needed to go in and serve a couple points, she'd go in and serve a couple points. Need to start on the outside, she'd start on the outside. She'd start as the libero, she'd start as the setter. She'd, wherever she needed to do. In practice, she'd pick up any role. If somebody was missing, she'd fill that spot. I'm really lucky to have a kid like this on my team. So the Coach's Award goes to Jenny Eagles. All right, now's the time where we talk about Bella, because there's no question who the MVP is of this team. When she came out for the middle school team, she was in 6th grade, and right away we knew she was going to be a special player. By the end of her 7th grade season, she was already the starting libero on the JV team, and since 8th grade, she has started every single set for AMSA Volleyball. One opposing coach asked me this year if this kid is finally going to graduate. In her 5 amazing seasons, she's been part of 4 league championships. 1 year we didn't have a league. 2 Final Four appearances and been selected to the All-State team. Her stat accumulation is ridiculous. She has a 750 win percentage, 299 sets played, 1,374 career digs, 254 aces in her career. Those are huge numbers. And just this year, she had 198 kills as an outside hitter, which is the only season she played outside hitter. And she didn't even play every game as an outside hitter. What I miss most about her, though, is how much positive energy she brings to the team. She competes as hard as anyone I ever coached, but she has so much fun doing it on these teams that she absolutely loves. It's going to be strange in the gym next August not having Bella there. I think the culture of excellence she has helped to shape will continue to be part of AMSA Volleyball for a long time. Thank you for everything, Bella. Congratulations. The last thing I want to announce next year's captains. So we have quite a few good kids with really great leadership qualities on the team, and next year we've kind of selected 2 of them to take on the duties of captains, and that's going to be Cassie and Emma. Oh, yes, and of course, time to hand out the awards. So we're going to go up in grade. So first we have 8th grade, Will Yost. Is she not here? Okay. 10th grade, Aisha. Maybe we can do the bishop method where we kind of we go through there. Maddie, Sadie, and Hallie, our sophomores. Okay. And our juniors, Jenna, Emma, Katina, Molly, Cassie, and our seniors now, Ellie, and Gabby, and Abby, and Danny, and Bella. There we go. Okay. So now's a good time for the parents to come on up and take some pictures.
Thank you, Coach Ben Giovanni. Congratulations again to our girls volleyball team for an outstanding season. At this point in time, we're going to bring up our Marlborough High School field hockey players. Come on up. All right, so I'm going to stand in for our field hockey coach, Michaela Mahoney. This is our first season co-oping with Marlborough High School in the sport of field hockey. We had previously, for the 3 last seasons, co-opted with Assabet. And unfortunately, numbers dwindled at Assabet, and they weren't able to run the program. So I'm very thankful to Marlborough High School Athletic Director Jeff Brzezinski and, like I said, Coach Mahoney for taking us in. They call the Dallas Cowboys America's team. Well, this field hockey team is Marlborough's team. It's Marlborough, AMSA, and Assabet. So pretty cool. And one of the things that Mr. Rosinski and I spoke about throughout the season, and Coach Mahoney reiterated it today, I have some remarks that I'm going to share from Coach Mahoney, was how the team really came together. Obviously, the girls know each other being from the same community, but coming together, playing on the same team for the first time, it sounds like they had a really enjoyable season. Coach Mahoney definitely had an enjoyable time coaching you guys. So I credit the girls for really coming together, which is not easy to do from 3 different high schools. So pretty good standing from our field hockey girls. We had 5 participants this year from AMSA. Freshman Ava McLeod and Elena Trementozzi, sophomore Emma O'Malley, junior Kira Manning, and senior Juliana Durant. Juliana, Kira, and Ava were our varsity players. So I'm going to call you guys up. Kira. Juliana. And Ava. The team finished 5-11-2 over the course of the season. Nothing to chuckle at. It's okay. It's okay. Obviously, Marlborough High being a pretty big school, playing in the Midwatch League, they do have a really tough schedule. They qualified for the MIA Division III postseason, and the team earned a 7-1 victory in the first round over Monty Tech. They went on to fall in the second round to the top seed and eventual state champion Watertown. And I can tell you, Watertown is widely considered the best team in the state, regardless of division. They actually might be one of the best teams in the country. They did achieve a national ranking in some publication as recently as this October. So the girls, not only did they see arguably the best team in the state, they may have seen one of the best teams in the country when they saw them in the MIA postseason. So they got to play the best and the best. So it's really all you can ask for. So again, a great field hockey season for our AMSA girls. I thank you guys. It's not easy being a co-op athlete. You know, you play off campus for a different high school. I'm sure they feel unheralded. So I give them a lot of credit for going over to Marlborough every day and playing for a different high school. So round of applause for Kira, Juliana. And at this time, I'm going to welcome up our girls soccer program head coach Sarah Bakala and assistant coach Stefan Hudson-Kiewicz.
Everyone's afraid to stand in the middle. So the girls soccer team ended the season 11-7-0 in a very tough playoff game, a disappointing one, but they all played their hearts out and we couldn't be prouder of how they showed. The girls worked really hard throughout the season to develop their individual skills and to implement the strategies we were introducing to them. This season we introduced the next phase of our program, the concept of this being their team on the field. This includes understanding different methods and strategies and using their own judgment on when to utilize one over the other. That meant, at times, they chose wrong. But they learned from those mistakes and got better and better at reading the field and being creative. We are so proud of the progress the girls made this season in becoming stronger and more intelligent soccer players. And we are going to miss our core of seniors, most of whom I have coached for 7 straight years, as they embark on their own journeys next year. Seniors, keep in mind the legacy you created. You have left your teammates set up for success and demonstrated a culture of respect and support. This year, we had 5 girls who were nominated for the Cal All-Stars. Neha, Ava, Angelina, Kira, and Elena. We had 3 of those girls who were selected for Central Mass All-Stars, Kira, Elena, and Angelina. And then Elena was elected as an all-state All-Star. So congratulations. All right, Brooke Ladati, sorry.
Are we gonna just hold applause to the end?
Yeah, let's hold applause. Maddie, Claire, Caroline, Scarlett, Charlotte, Jen, Ava, Elena, Neha, Maeve, Angelina, Riley, Ellie, Jill, Brooke Ryan, Celeste,
She's not here today either.
Sophia Cruz, Kira, Mila, Sophia Hamill. Congratulations, girls. So our first award for the night is Most Improved. As we know, all athletes work to improve throughout the season. This player improved her skills and strategy implementation, which I had mentioned was something we'd worked with the team a lot this year. This player asked questions, tried new things on the field, and became one of the most dangerous playmakers on the team. While she may not have had the stats to demonstrate her improved skills, something she lamented about to coach, by mid-season, her runs pulled so many opponents out of position, her teammates had yards of gaps to exploit and numerous opportunities to score. She had also learned how to fill her teammates' roles as they made dynamic runs to rebalance the field. We couldn't be more proud of her effort and improvement this season. Congratulations, Brooke Ryan. So usually we have the girls vote for Unsung Hero, but this, because there's so much that goes on outside of what the coaches see, that it's tough for us to make that judgment. But this year, Coach and I felt that this player stepped up above and beyond what anyone could have asked or expected. At tryouts, we had one goalie across 2 teams. So we sent the girls out to recruit. On day 3 of tryouts, pretty much every girl came up to me, singing the praises of a softball catcher who agreed to come out as goalie. She's awesome. Nate has been working with her. You'll love her. She's so athletic. And on and on. None of them was wrong. This athlete, who hadn't played soccer since she was 6, took a chance on us and gave her team her all. She asked questions, clarified rules, watched videos on her own time to learn new techniques, and showed up every day with a smile and a positive attitude. Sophia, you brought so much more to this team than we could have hoped. Way more than just an athlete in a net, which is all we had hoped and expected. And we are so grateful that you're now part of this family. Thank you, Sophia Hamill.
Oh, did you do
Yeah.
this matter?
Not really. So we sort of combined MVP and Coaches Award. They just go together. When either of these players was off the field, the team struggled to keep it together. There was a noticeable difference in playing and mood of the team. Our center backs have been the heart of the field this year, setting the tone and expectation of play and initiating communication. As I mentioned, Kira was selected as a Colonial Athletic League All-Star and a Central Mass All-Star. Kira, your leadership on and off the field is unparalleled. Your understanding of what your teammates need and ability to support them and stand up for them is admirable. The strength you've brought to our defensive line and willingness to be flexible and shift to a 3-back at a moment's notice is incredible. I don't know what we're going to do without you next year. The Coaches Award goes to Kira Powers. Elena has become such a dangerous player in the past several years. She started out as an outside back and has matured to the responsibilities of a center back. Anyone coming at Elena either loses the ball or goes down. There is no third option. Or loses a leg, yeah. Elena is truly a soccer player. She understands the sport and adjusts to do whatever is needed to push the team forward. As Coach says all the time, I don't speak English to Elena, we speak soccer. She leads by example and supports her teammates. As a center back, Elena has 3 goals and 6 assists this year with 17 shots on target and has taken 43 corners. Elena was selected as a Cal All-Star and a Central Mass All-Star and an All-State All-Star. Congratulations as this year's MVP, Elena. Now, take pictures.
Congratulations to our girls soccer team. Another fantastic season. At this point, we'll welcome to the podium head coach Mark Vital of our boys and girls cross country programs.
You know, this never gets old, because every year we have some new super student athletes that I get a chance to honor. Back when I was in the military, there was a term that was introduced to us called esprit de corps, and I never really knew exactly what that meant until I had to look it up. So, esprit de corps it says, the common spirit existing in the members of a group, an inspiring enthusiasm, devotion, and strong regard for the honor of the group. I've never had esprit de corps with any of my teams until this year. It's a cross-country team. They have bonded immensely throughout the year. Though they compete differently, the boys and girls do a lot of things together. They work out together. They attend the 8 different pasta dinners that we had together. And I think they would be fair to say that they are brothers and sisters, even though they have 2 separate teams. The single greatest event that ever happened to me as a coach happened this year. And it wasn't Katie winning the Colonial League league meet for the first time anyone from AMSA has ever done that. That was a great event. And something I'll remember for the rest of my life, but doesn't come close to the event I'm about to share with you. We were at the league meet up in Willard Park in Devens. So every team in the league is competing. And, you know, Parker boys, which is is the 3rd best team in the entire state at all levels, pretty much dominated the boys race. Our girls dominated the girls race. We had all 7 of our girls were in the top 16 of all the girls in the entire league. And I was pretty excited about that. And I was pretty excited to see all of our varsity receiving a medal that day. Mr. Jones was with me, and we were talking. We were pretty excited about that whole thing. Everyone was sitting down. We have this guy, this amazing guy called Mike Mahan, who lives, eats, and drinks cross country. And he does the award ceremony, and he's very good at it, as crazy as the man is. And he has all the teams sitting down in front of him as he started his award ceremony. And about maybe quarter of the way through, I noticed across this large field an autistic gentleman from Assabet who was still finishing. Nobody was out on the course cheering him on. He was finishing a good 20, maybe about 10 minutes after the person prior to him. The Assabet team forgot about him. Everybody forgot about him. And this autistic young man was gonna complete that race by himself or with a team that recognized him. I immediately called for my team. All of them got up from sitting down and followed me. And that young man finished his race to the cheers of our team. Not even his own team, but of the AMSA team. Now, why is it important? I'm pretty sure that almost every one of our members will remember that for the rest of their life, and not necessarily that they dominated the girls' race or the pocket dominated the boys' race. They made a difference in a young man's life, and that was pretty cool. It really was. It's pretty cool. Let's have the boys up, please. The boys went 9-4 overall this year, and they won this. There's a cup. It's our version of the Stanley Cup that gets passed to the school that wins it between Assabet, Marlborough, and us. And these boys won it last year and beat Marlborough and Assabet this year again, so they keep the Galoni Cup for another year. Like I said, 9-4 in the league, 9-4 overall, 9-2 in the league. First, we'll do the letters and then the awards. Brian? Gabe? Owen? Peter? Cole? Noah? And Cooper? First award is the most improved. I know some coaches do it from how much an athlete improves during the season. I always do it from season to season because to get ready for cross country, you have to put the time in during the summer. This man last year, I'm just going to throw just a little bit of sharing how much he improved. Last year at the Galoni Cup, he ran a 22:40. This year he ran 20 minutes and 9 seconds, so he improved almost 2.5 minutes. This year's most improved player is Cole Olson. I allow the athletes to select the unsung hero. As I already shared with you, a lot of times the unsung hero is the person who does the things that sometimes the coaches don't always see up in front. Yet with this individual, I know how special this person is. He's a great teammate, he's a great runner, and he's a great man. Our unsung hero is Peter Matevich. Our most valuable runner was our top runner at every meet this year. He had a great season in the league. I think the only team that actually beat him was BVT and Parker. Every other team this individual won. Our most valuable runner this year is Gabe Cassandra. Coach's award goes to a gentleman who I've had on the team for 7 years. He's sick tonight. He burns. He does an awful lot. He was in Friday's drama, and he worked all summer along with Dylan, trying to be the very best that he could. And our coach's award goes to Drew Marceau. Pictures, please. Mr. Jones just mentioned something that I was going to plan on doing it anyway. Dylan Zekas was our designated captain for this past fall. He worked his butt off all summer long. In fact, I know he was because a couple of times I would be walking my dogs and he'd be driving to go meet Drew somewhere. He worked real hard all summer, but in doing so, he got a serious stress fracture. And he was unable to compete this past fall, which hurt our team dramatically. But Dylan, you're the great guy. Thank you. Can I have the girls up here, please? So tables. I'm just Well, let's talk about the team for a second here, because I think it's worthwhile to talk about. They're league champs second time in a row. They were second to Wachusett Invitational, to Whitensville Christian, who won the state division at Division II level. They were second in the Division III Wade that was out in Northfield, Massachusetts. They went, as I already said, they went undefeated, and now they were undefeated last year, and now they're undefeated this year. So they're at a streak right now of 23-0 over the last 2 years. They had a pretty good season, to say the least. And we were pretty fortunate. The girls soccer team had a great year, but we were very fortunate that two of their student athletes jumped over to cross country this year, and I don't know if we would have had as great a season if it wasn't for both Katie and Rosie. But in any case, let's pass out these letters. Sophia. Grace. Caitlin. Kathleen. Rosie. Ava. Delaney. Maya. Mariana. The awards. The most improved runner from last year to this year is also one of our youngest runners. She last year, when she ran the Galoni Cup, she ran it in a time of 25:51. This year, she ran it in 21:57, improving almost 4 minutes. This year's most improved runner is Mariana Senatellis. Our unsung hero, as selected by the team, there were 3 girls that received over three. This was including the middle school that received over 4 votes. But this person pulled it out at the very, very end, and she truly is an unsung hero. She not only is she one of our top runners, but she has matured an awful lot considering what grade she's in. She oftentimes gets everyone settled and gets them focused on what has to get done. She's always out there cheering on her teammates. Even when she may not have had a great race, she's still out there making sure that everyone else has a good race. Our unsung hero this year is Kathleen Galvin. Our Coaches Award, and that's similar to what was already said. Our Coaches Award is selected by me as the person who exemplifies the sport, who really does everything I ask her to do, and she does much, much more. Her maturity is unparalleled. She is the best leader on our team, yet she's not a drill sergeant type of leader. She's a leader by example, and she's kind of like the E.F. Hutton of the team, where when she speaks, other people kind of listen, and they better, because she's 99% of the time right. Our Coaches Award this year is Sophia Martinez. Well, our MVP, thank you, soccer. It's not too often that you get a transfer from one. I have always had some folks and most of the time from girls soccer too, where somebody says, well, I'm not going to start, and I might as well just go out. I'm a pretty good runner in track, so I might as well go out for the cross country team. But never, ever do you get someone that does that and turns into the MVP and goes undefeated throughout the entire season. Not only did she go undefeated, and sometimes she got done, had a cup of coffee, a donut, and cheered on the second person. She is a very special runner. And she still, and I told her this personally, she still doesn't know how great she can be. She's still learning the sport of cross country. And next year, boy, oh, next year, I can't wait to see what she does. She is also the first AMSA athlete ever to win the Colonial League meet. We've had some great runners throughout the years, but there's always been someone from Parker or someone or BVT that was better than our top runners. Well, this year, again, she won, and she won by a sizable amount over the second place runner. This year's MVP is Caitlin Massey.
Thank you very much, Coach Vital, and both of our cross-country teams. Congratulations on a fantastic fall. At this point in time, if I can call up any members of the Maynard AMSA football program, come on up, please. Maynard AMSA football, come on up. All right, so before you, we have a few members of our Maynard AMSA football co-op. The team actually opened up the season. This is going to generate some laughter, I think, with a 49-6 loss, and I think we were up 6-0 too. So a tough loss to Uxbridge, and I mentioned that purposefully. We then rattled off 7 straight wins of their own and hosted a playoff game in the first round of the MIA Division VI tournament. Wins during that winning streak included 1-score victories over Auburn, Hudson, and Clinton, and blowout victories versus Oakmont, North Middlesex, Worcester Tech, and Groton Dunstable. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, we lost in the Sweet 16 to Bellingham in a great game, also a 1-score game, 28-21. But it was a fantastic game, a fantastic season. We had a fun consolation game the following week versus Marlborough. We had a great crowd over at Kelleher Field on a cool and foggy night, like a perfect football night. It was great football weather. Marlborough narrowly edged us 14-7, but it was a great night for our community, I think, our AMSA community. So many of our players and parents have relationships with the Marlborough players and parents, so it was a matchup that we've been trying to make happen for years, and we finally were able to make it come to fruition, and it was a lot of fun. It was actually the first time Marlborough and Maynard had played in football since 1987. So it was a historical night. Unfortunately, we came up a little bit short, but certainly one of the highlights of a fantastic season. Let's meet the players. Mateo Ariano. Aiden Frias, not here. Tavin Hirsch. Yanni Cambosos. Nick Oliveira. Anthony Skillings. Travis Webb. Kyle Eagles. Harry McCarthy. CJ Skoronik. Braden Sullivan. I think that's it for those that are here. Coach Paliki, it's a busy night over at Maynard. Our head coach, Coach Paliki, the JV team just played West Boylston in their Chicken Bowl tonight. They also had their Powder Puff game over there, so Coach Paliki, I believe, is refereeing the Powder Puff game, so unable to be here. But he did want me to announce the All-Stars. Seniors Mateo Ariano, Anthony Skillings, and Tavin Hirsch have all been selected as Midland Wachusett League C Division All-Stars. And the same 3, Mateo, Anthony, and Tavin, were also selected as Central Mass All-Stars. But again, it was a fantastic season for these guys, and it's not over yet. I mentioned at the beginning that we started our season with a loss to Uxbridge. Uxbridge will play next week in the Division VII State Championship at Gillette Stadium. Maynard AMSA will end the season on Thanksgiving over at West Boylston, who will play in the Division VIII State Championship at Gillette Stadium next week. So, bookending our season with matchups with teams that are going to Gillette to play for a Super Bowl title. So, And I think we're right there. We were right there with teams like that. We had a really fantastic season. Our AMSA Maynard co-op is a success story in terms of co-ops, and I'm so thankful for these guys. Football is a grind. It's the longest season by far. And as you can imagine, days like today, it's cold, it's gray, it's windy, and these guys are still out there practicing. Their season not quite over yet. So if you have time Thursday morning, come support the boys over at West Boylston for our 10 a.m. Thanksgiving Day game. Congrats, boys. Last but certainly not least, we'll welcome Coach Brendan McDonough of our varsity golf team, and the varsity golfers. Come on up. Golf was also last year, and I try not to do that. I try not to make them. I try to change up the order. But Coach McDonough was leaving a doctor's appointment for his newborn son, less than a week old. Andrew Richard McDonough was born last week. Congratulations, Coach McDonough.
All right, good evening all. I would like to start off by thanking Pete Jones for giving the team the opportunity to compete this fall. I also would like to thank the parents for their support and commitment to the team as well. It was a pleasure to be able to coach these boys this fall, and I'd also like to thank the parents for putting on an amazing senior night at the clubhouse this year. Between family and friends that day, I don't think Southborough Golf Club has ever seen that many AMSA fans at once. So it was a really nice night for these guys. Last season when I joined the coaching staff, our team was in a bit of a rebuilding stage. AMSA Golf for many years was very successful. It was now looking for some younger guys to step up and help lead this program. Last year's season ended with a 7-10-1 record, with 8 of the 12 players returning this fall. I had never coached golf before, but these boys made the transition very easy and very entertaining. After missing districts last season, the team was able to grind out a lot of close matches this season, and what I think was my favorite part about this team was that everyone at some point contributed to our victories. It is also funny how much better a group of teenage boys will play when you tell them that the bus can stop at McDonald's on the way home if we win. This year we finished with a 14-6 record. We had 3 of our guys be named to the Cal All-Star team in Andrew McCabe, Casey Mativich, and Noah Hill. We clinched a spot at districts and gave it our best effort. Unfortunately, we didn't have the best day at Kettlebrook this year, but getting a day off from school and playing 18 holes of golf is still a win for these guys. This team was a lot of fun to be around. Our 2 captains, Casey Mativich and Andrew McCabe, were great leaders, along with our other 3 seniors, Luke Massey, Henry Papke, and Colin Glynn. We had some great bus rides this year that helped build some great team chemistry. I'm extremely thankful for these seniors this year. I'm definitely going to miss walking to the bus each day, to Luke sitting in the driver's seat of the white bus begging for the keys. Don't worry, Mr. Jones, I never gave him the keys. I will miss the 2 captains we had, even though they showed up 10 minutes late to their own tee time of our first home match of the season. I'll miss the assistant to the captains, Henry, arguing back and forth with Chuck every time we got on the bus, and also hitting the roof of a house on his 100-yard approach shot at Southborough. Of course, I'm going to miss the most of waiting 40 minutes at Wingstop for Colin's loaded nachos to be ready so that we could finally drive home to AMSA. All joking aside, though, these boys really helped grow the program, and I will miss the energy and laughs that they brought to the course each day. Now on to the awards. I got dressed up, Colin. First off, Colin Glenn. Luke Massey. Casey Mativich. Andrew McCabe. Henry Papke. Noah Hill. Brendan Clark. Anthony Trementozzi. Charlie Hamill. And Evan Pellin, but he's not here tonight. All right. Our MVP award is going to one of our players who had a fantastic senior year. He was always one of our top scorers, and even when he played well, he still would find something about his game to complain about. But I do believe this helped drive him to keep getting better and better, and he earned himself a top 10 finish at the Cal League Championships this year, and was also named to the Cal League All-Star team. We will definitely miss having him here next season. Our MVP is senior captain Andrew McCabe. For our most improved player, this award is going to a player who put in a ton of work over the offseason and made a great improvement to his game. He would always be keeping score, but he would never tally up his score until the end of the round, which would drive the rest of his teammates crazy because they would be constantly checking in to see if we were winning the match or not. But by doing this, he was able to stay mentally locked in and was inches away from 2 hole-in-ones this season. I'm very excited to see him lead our team next year. Another Cal League All-Star, junior Noah Hill. My coach's award is going to one of our seniors who became a leader before the season had ever even began. When the roster was finalized, he was awesome with making sure the new guys felt a part of the team, and he also got us team belts, which helped us look pretty well out there on the course, whether we played bad or not that day. My coach's award is going to another one of our Cal League All-Stars and senior captain, Casey Mativich. For my Unsung Hero Award, it is going to a player that the team would like to give a hard time a lot of the time and had some tough scores over the years, but he never let any of that get to him. He showed up with a smile on his face every day, and whether he was playing well or not. But when the team needed him the most at a match at Marlborough, he was in the final group and was able to be the 4th score that we needed to have it be a tie, which then sent it to a tiebreaker and got us the win that clinched us districts. My unsung hero is senior Colin Glenn. Thank you, everybody. Time for the pictures.
All right, thank you to Coach McDonough. Ladies and gentlemen, we are nearing the end of our program. Just hang in a few more minutes. We're going to announce some academic award winners. A little bit of a change this year. We're going to begin with our individual academic award winners. We're going to recognize a male and a female for the highest average in both the upperclassmen and underclassmen standing, as we usually do. We'll begin with the underclassmen. The male winner from the boys cross country team with an average of 96.88, freshman Colin Falla. Colin is not with us tonight. The underclassmen female award winner is from our girls varsity volleyball team with an average of 96.77, Sadie Brown. Wow. Sadie, come on up. Congratulations, Sadie. All right, now for the upperclassmen. The male winner is a junior from the cross-country team with an average of 97.625, Mr. Gabe Casanas. Come on up, Gabe. And last but certainly not least, our female individual award winner, upperclassman with the highest average, is a senior from the varsity volleyball team with an average of 97.11, Gabby Barassa. All right, before we head out, we're going to announce our team award winners, and I saved this for last. A little bit of a change to the program. So the first team I'm going to acknowledge, please stand for a moment of recognition. This is the girls cross country team with an overall average of 91.53. Girls cross country, please rise. It was incredibly close between girls cross country, volleyball, and girls soccer. Extremely, extremely close. All right, and the last team we're going to acknowledge, this is the highest average for all of our fall sports teams, and I'm going to ask that you come forward. A little bit of a highlight coming to us from Dr. Mobley. She's purchased an Eagle trophy that's going to stay with this team for the year until next fall. They can either reclaim it or give it to another team if they must. But the team with the highest average this fall, with a 92.69, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask you guys to come on up. The boys varsity cross country team, come on up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, just going back to something I said at the very beginning, if you're a student athlete and you've lettered for the first time, please come see me. You get your varsity letter. With that, I wish you all a safe and happy Thanksgiving. To those of you that are traveling, safe travels. And we'll see you 1 week from tonight for winter sports. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.